In this special episode from a recent presentation of mine, I'll walk you step by step on how to install Google Tag Manager, how to set up Google Analytics inside of it, then also how to configure event tracking all inside the same system.
All right, let's move on to Tag Manager. Oh, I'm blitzing through this. Cool, so who here is using Google Tag Manager? Lindsay? Mary?
Yeah.
Just two of us? Cool. That's all right. So Google Tag Manager it's not really a new kid on the block, but it's growing very quickly in terms of user adoption. What you want to do, and I'll show you how this all will tie in together through Tag Manager. Go in, create a new account, call it what you want to call it, put your container name as your site, set it as a web container. Next thing, you're going to go to the variables section, you're going to open up the variables, you're going to go down to the click classes, and you're going to turn all of these on. They're off by default. Turn them all on. Next, you're going to go through and set up your first tag, which would then be your Google Analytics account that you just configured. Basically, you hit the tag, you open it, you add the Google Analytics tag, you put in your tracking ID, that will be inside your Google Analytics account. Then you set the trigger to all pages, and that's it. It's your Google Analytics is now integrated into Tag Manager. Next, now you noticed one thing I didn't actually tell you is back here, as soon as you set up these destination goals, it will work right out. As soon as someone goes through these pages, it's going to start collecting information. It's not instantaneous. You typically have to wait 12, 24 hours for the report view and analytics to actually start picking up this information, so keep that in mind. Event tracking is a little bit more complicated. Before Tag Manager, what you basically would have to do is go in and let's say you have a mail to link in your website footer. You'd have to then wrap that in specific JavaScript classes and declare it inside Tag Manager and then test that it actually works. It's quite tedious, and if you don't know what you're doing, it's prone to breaking, or just you fundamentally don't do it because it's too hard and you're not a developer. Tag Manager fixes that. Now all you got to do is create a new tag. You go into, again, you attribute it to your analytics profile that you've already inserted. You set the event as, you set it as an event. You're going to match your category as the call. This is for your click to call website phone numbers. The action is going to be a click, and the label that will report back into analytics will be then the actual page location that the call was captured on. Once you've done that, one thing that you'll need to do is set up a trigger, and this trigger will only fire. So this information will only be collected if the user goes to your website and clicks on a URL that starts with tell semicolon. So if you look at the code of a click to call link, it'll be ahref open brackets tell semicolon phone number close. So if the link starts with that tell semicolon, wherever that click to call number is on your website, it will automatically pull it out and attribute it as a call event. Same thing with your mail to links. You just, instead of tell semicolon, it's mail to semicolon. Alrighty, that's it. So that's how simple it is to set up these event tracking tags in Tag Manager, add it in, and then basically all you got to do is grab this code and you put it as high up in the head of your website as possible. Then you take this code here. This is a backup code for sites, browsers that have JavaScript disabled, and you put that at just after your opening body tag. If you're running a WordPress site, Wix, Shopify, Squarespace, they all have inbuilt plugins to do this, so you don't have to touch any of this. You just need to get your GTM ID, drop it in, save it. She's good to go. And that's it. You never actually have to put a marketing tag in your website ever again. It all goes through Tag Manager, Facebook pixels, remarketing scripts, everything. You just set them up as tags in here, goes into that one code incision. That's it. Much more easier, cleaner, and safer to maintain, in my opinion. Oh yeah, sorry. So if you're using WordPress, this thing just got announced a week or two ago. It's Google's, what they call it, Sitekit for WordPress. This is like the official Google way of putting this into a WordPress site through a plugin. You can go download that and put it into your WordPress site if you're running a WordPress site. Right, so that's a fair bit. When we go and set these up for our clients, we've got a template container that has all of this already built out. We just need to adjust the variables and conditions based upon their unique information and the way she goes. if you want this, and it'll save you a lot of work, trust me, just send me an email at the end, or hit me up on Slack. I'll give you the container, and you can install that into your account, and it'll have all of this stuff pre-built, ready to go. One thing is, you'll probably notice down here, I'm not using page view to track or to fire analytics. I'm using something called a DOM element that only fires if the user is viewing the website and they're not actually logged into it. So this won't work on e-commerce and membership sites. This will work on basically every single thing else. This is how you then not count you or your web developers or team that are like creating blog posts and actually attributing that information into your analytics data. It will filter it out. Yeah. So I've just applied a data filter into it, and I've done that without touching any code whatsoever, all in Google Tag Manager. Again, another really powerful thing that it can make very simple and easy to use. If you're wondering, for the devs in the room, why I'm using a DOM trigger versus a page view trigger, is that the page view trigger will fire regardless if the page actually fully renders or not. So you could have, it could request the website, begin to load it, it could just crap out, but it's still accounting that session into your analytics data. With the DOM, it will wait till the site's actually rendered, then fire it in. So again, it's just giving you a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more truer information on what's truly going on your website.
So there you have it. That was a short tutorial on how to set up Google Tag Manager, install Google Analytics into it, and configure event tracking. As always, if you enjoyed the episode, like it, leave me a comment below if you've had any questions on anything that I've discussed so far. If you need help with your web analytics and growing your business, check out my digital agency, Web3. I'm James Banks from Web3, and I'll see you in the next episode.